Today, I just want to talk a little bit about plantar fasciitis, the dreaded plantar fasciitis, every runner's nightmare and fear, and everybody's scared of getting it. Unfortunately, some of us do, and there's always a reason. That's one thing you've got to remember is it doesn't just come out of luck. There's always a reason. Now, whether that's increasing your activity too much, changing the way you do things, or whether that's increasing intervals or hill work or something else, there's always a reason why it's highlighted. Often a change of shoes can highlight it. It's not the shoe's fault, but that's something that just kind of highlights the issue of maybe something going on elsewhere. So it's usually pain on the inside of the heel. So if you have a look at a foot here, it's usually on the inside back arch of the heel here, which is where the plantar fascia comes through and attaches. And that's where it's at its weakest point. It's often painful first thing in the morning. It warms up when you do a bit of activity and then hurts again afterwards. That's the general pattern for plantar fasciitis. So what can cause it? Like I said, there's different things that will highlight it, but actually poor mechanics, so poor running form, it can be from lack of strength in certain areas, whether that's the calf or the hamstring, or it can be poor hip control. It's probably the most common, that hip doesn't stabilize you very well, especially when you're running. If you're on one leg, if you can't get control at the top of the chain, it means everything further down has a lot more stress on it, or certainly a different stress. Overpronation is another one that a lot of people talk about, but again, that could be because of other factors. So sorting those factors out is really important. If you don't get rid of the root cause, it's going to either come back or remain at the same level. So symptoms-wise, as I explained, it's sore first thing in the morning, after activity, and it kind of warms up as you're doing activity. Symptomatic relief-wise, in clinic, we recommend shockwave therapy. Very, very effective. It's got an 83 to 87% success rate, and that helps the healing rate. Like ultrasound, it's very, very targeted. It's quite powerful, but it encourages the healing process to take place, which sometimes with tendons and fascia, that kind of drops off after a period of time, so we need to encourage that to happen. The next best thing you can look at is getting the ball in there and really massage it through the foot. Not necessarily over the point of pain, but certainly through the rest of the foot. If you release off the rest of the fascia, it takes pressure off the insertion, which is where the pain is. Insoles are a good option, just a simple arch support to take the pressure off, which is there's less pressure on the arch itself. It's going to put more pressure, less pressure into the heel. So that's another way, again, symptomatically, for taking some of the pressure off. Stretching the foot, so putting your toes against the wall and then bringing your knees forward, that's a really good way to stretch out the foot, but also stretching the calf. The calf comes attached into the back of the heel, so the longer the calf is, the less pressure on the plantar fascia. So stretching your calves, I recommend up to 6 times a day, 30 to 45 seconds a go. There's lots and lots of stretching to try and help that out. No barefoot walking. That's one thing that a lot of people maybe miss out when they're looking at treating or curing plantar fasciitis. Just walking around the house barefooted for a few hours can be enough to really irritate the fascia. Because again, that foot is more likely to roll in if you're at home in barefoot. So even as kind of a solid pair of structured Birkenstock type flip-flops are okay, but ideally trainers are your best footwear to wear. And that's the same when you're outside. Towel grab, so get a towel on a wooden floor and using your toes to curl the towel up encourages those intrinsic muscles of those feet to wake up. So that'll take some pressure again off the plantar fascia. Calf raises, so just not necessarily on a step, just on the floor, going up and down again, getting those calves stronger because that might be one of the problems. Icing, so you can just go with a bag of peas, or a lot of people will use a bottle of water in the freezer and then roll through the foot. And the last thing that has some effect sometimes is something called the Strasbourg sock. Not particularly attractive, I'm afraid, but it's a sock that basically stretches your calf all night to the calf and foot. So it's got a strap that attaches your foot to your shin and it pulls it back, so you stretch it all night. That's had some success, but that's not normally one of the things we advise initially, but it is an option along the line. So that's it. Treatment-wise, you've got shockwave, you've got soft tissue work, and you've got frictions, which is where we get right into that area. But even so, you've got 7 or 8 different points there of stuff you can do to get going to try and help the pain. But it's all about getting that root cause. So get your technique looked at and get your hip mobility, hip stability much